Hey guys, did I make a mistake on scheduling? It looks like I did. Did I put something like 8 p.m. in there instead of 8 a.m.? Well, let's get it started. Wow. Did I mess up on the scheduling and put 8 p.m. instead of 8 a.m.? I'm an old man. Those types of things are going to happen now and again. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Dan and Minnie's Journeys live stream. Today we're going to have a Peso 300 winner, I'm sure. I'm here, sitting here, enjoying my life. I've got my mascot is with me, keeping me company. Yay! I love playing with the Jolly Bee. Hey, by the way, we went down to the Jolly Bee. Bye bye City Latte, and the mascot is missing, and we're not sure exactly what happened to the mascot. The mascot probably was stolen. But when I asked security guard, "Where's the mascot?" It's being repainted. Oh yeah, the old repainted mascot story. I've heard it before. Folks, let me take a sip of my coffee. I just got up. By the way, I want to congratulate Nicole instead. We have a winner this morning on the video. Saw their name really, really quickly. And so the cash payout for the winner has already been taken care of. Congratulations. Congratulations. Let me move a little closer to this mic. I don't know why I keep leaning forward instead of looking in the camera. There you go. There I am. Staring the camera. Deer in the headlights. That's how I am. All right, let me bring up the comments. Let me bring up the chat, see who else hanging around. Let's see. Let me see who else stopped by. Anime Reyes is here. Lexia Vlog. Alien Cruise Official stopped by to say hi. Anime, what do you say? Alien Cruise. Madeline is here. We've got, did I say, oh, Jay Lynn is in the house. Jay Lynn, it's always nice to see you here. Jay Lynn being one of my favorite people in the whole world. Anime, definitely. in the same category. Menge is here. Good morning, Menge. Good morning, sunshine. Yeah, Red Show is here. Hello, Nicole Instead in the house. Today's video winners. Yay! Rider Adventure. Rider Adventure's here. Lorraine Pajadas. I do enjoy saying that name. Pajadas. Minnie Snow, what do you know? Edward D. Beck is in the house. We haven't seen Edward. What did I win the Toyota Land Cruiser? Well, not exactly. Edward D, nice to see you. Where have you been? Everybody's been asking about you lately. Jean Zay, Jean God is here in the house today and today only. Mac Daddy in the house. I stole him. Tim Deziak is here. Tim, sorry about not scheduling the live correctly. You know, I guess it'll be a few more hours before I go live. By the way, so it's December 7th in the States, and so that is the day that I think it was, I believe, if I have my dates correct, it was December 7th, 1941, that pulled the United States of America into the war when Japan bombed Pearl Harbor. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, from the Arizona, we have one lone survivor, probably is around 100 or 101 year of age. And he's still alive. And if I could remember his name, I can't remember his name, but I should. I'm sure he's being honored today as being the sole survivor of the bombings there at Pearl Harbor. That was December 7th, 1941. Who else is here? James is in the house. Manila James is here. What can I say? Thank you so much for the anytime. It's my regular gig. Thank you so much for being so kind. Your kindness will be rewarded. Yes, your kindness shall be rewarded. That's in the Bible somewhere, isn't it? Yeah, it's in the Bible somewhere. All right. So what I want to talk to you folks about. Good morning. Let's see. It's kind of hard for me to pronounce your name. Anuti the second is here. So where's Anuti the first is what I like to know. And Mel is here. Three's Maria's channel. That's Mel. Mel from up the street in Caridad. A nice community. You know, Minnie and I, we drove by there the other day on our way to Ormoc, and we waved as we were passing by, Mel. I just want to let you know I'm always thinking about you. Every time I go by the main road there off the highway, I'm always thinking about you and Des. You know, I should stop by and say hello. I don't know why I didn't get off the bus and just, you know, I don't know why Minnie and I didn't get off the bus and head your way. That would have been fun. You've been in the hospital for 3 weeks. Oh, no. That's terrible. Tomorrow. It's Hey Joe. It's today in the Philippines. It's tomorrow in the States, but it's the United States observance. That would be December 7th. Right. And how's the new city coming along? Hey Joe. Buena Vista Dreamin'. How's the new city? In the new city shall be. I have so much fun with that. Listen, simple things get me going like that. Hey, Joe, what do you know? How are you and your wife doing today? Oh, good. I'm glad you're getting well. You know, I think about you. You know, I was thinking about you, as a matter of fact, this morning when I was putting on my compression socks. Well, I'll tell you the truth. Minnie was helping me put on my compression socks. And I was thinking, man, I wonder how Edward D is doing. You know, it's terrifying to get that disease. Edward, a lot of people don't know much about that. But when I was about 15 years ago or so, I decided, I should start wearing support hose or compression socks to make sure that, I don't get water. I don't, the water doesn't settle in your lower extremities. And so I've been wearing compression socks for the last 15 years or so. Man, Minnie says it's 10. And I was reminding her, are you sure it's 10? I think it's more like 15. And, I got them on now. I wear them every single day. I wear compression socks. And they work, folks. These things work. They keep the fluid from settling in the lower extremities. They keep everything working okay. And I don't know where that came from. I think it was my grandma used to wear compression socks. It's amazing. It is amazing how things that you observe when you're a kid, how they affect you later on in life. And so I believe it was my grandma wearing those compression socks that caught my attention. And so today I wear compression socks. What am I going to do? Anime Reyes, a super fan, is here. Man, gay hanging in there. I haven't scared anybody away so far, have I? 16 million people in the house. Lexi Vlog is here. Charmaine is here. Glorioso. Halos or Halos. Do you say Halos or Halos? Did I get it close? Did I get it close? We do hope you get up and running on your feet because it's getting near to Christmas time, and we're missing the eggnog hooch. Yeah, so you got to get back to making the eggnog hooch. I know I'm a very selfish person. If you haven't realized that by now, all I care about is where's the booze, where's my Christmas libation. Charam is here. Charam, beautiful person, beautiful, absolutely. Beth is in the house. Beth has one of the one of the greatest laughs on all of YouTube. I can testify to that. She has laughs are supposed to be funny. When you laugh, it kind of is contagious, right? It's supposed to spread everywhere, right? So there's Beth spreading her good cheer and laugh to millions of her subscribers and viewers who wish to remain anonymous. Larice is here. Larice, where were you the other day when we called out Lou's name as a winner? Here we were thinking that you hung around or your ninja hung around, and then when we called your name as the Peso 300 winner, nothing. We got crickets. Where were you, girl? I like nothing but. Are we back? Oh my goodness. Someone tell me if they could see us back live. Someone in the chat. Good morning, good morning. So we're in the middle of a brownout, and so we haven't been able to get the generator started. So I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm on data right now. I'm on my phone. All right, so 14 million people in the house. I see Larry Lee is here. Crystal's Adventure. Crystals, I woke up thinking about you this morning. You know what that means. Okay, you can see it. Okay, very good. All right, we lost Dan. I'm back. I'm back. Go back in and go hit the link again. I think I'm using the same link. I'm not sure. All right, you guys can see me. Ah, here we go. Here we go. Let me go back to the computer. Power's back up. I'm not sure if that's because Man Mini was able to fire up the generator or not. Brownout. We got a brownout. I went to my phone. I'm on my phone right now.
I turn on the
Generator?
generator.
Yeah, the power came back up. So let's reboot the computer. Is Mike married in the house? Nicole instead hanging in there with us. 17 million people. Come hell or high water, we're going to draw for a peso 300 winner. Why didn't you guys tell me that my finger was covering the camera on this phone? I am not used to using the phone to broadcast. Zamy Zam is in the house. Amy, what's up? Let's see. Computer's asking me for my secret code. There we go. Stand by. Stand by for live feed from the computer. You guys walking in here half naked. She just stand by. I'm working it out. Wow, did we come back? That was an experience to have, trying to work the phone and and get back live. I got the other phone going still. Hang on. Oh boy. All right, let me reboot the phone so that I can get going here. So if I'm not mistaken, Pearl, I was talking about the Pearl Harbor thing. Well, we were rudely interrupted by a brownout here in the Philippines. And Prissy is here. Welcome, welcome. Prissy Santos and Prissy Manzanero is here. There's Larry. So yeah, I was talking about. I think we lost better than 2,300 people in that attack, and it actually pulled us into the war, of course, and the rest is history, as they say. So it's a few hours to go in the States for December 7th, but December 7th has already arrived here in the Philippines. And I just want to acknowledge the bravery of the folks that served in Pearl Harbor and also honor an honorable mention for the lone survivor. who's I think 100 or 101 years old. You can Google that. Um, from the Arizona, one lone survivor from the Arizona. And I'm sure he's going to get a lot of interviews on December 7th. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the lone survivor, correct me if I'm wrong, anybody that knows, but I believe he's from Grass Valley, which is right above Sacramento, California. So, yep, it's up in the hills. It's in the hill country. Like I said, Crystals, I woke up thinking about you today. You're probably going to be hearing from me later on today, I think. Just wanted to give you a warning in case you wanted to run for the hills. Yes, indeed. But things didn't turn out so well in the end in that attack. Yeah, because the sleeping giant was woken up from a very deep sleep. And speaking of deep sleeps, my story for today has to do with the dreams that I've been having. I'm not sure what to make of them, but I have these dreams like I'm living a life as a young man in a totally completely different world. And some of the people that I've lived this life with, I'm talking about the here and now, appear in my dreams in this alternate life, and so it's just like a regular life. I mean, if you can imagine how exhausted. So let's say that you're dreaming about your regular life, but it's a little bit different. Like you're slipping into another world and you're going to work and you're working a full 8-hour shift and you're dreaming about it while you're sleeping in this world. And so I wake up, I'm totally and completely exhausted. But it's interesting because in some of the dreams, I actually am somebody, not just a regular working stuff like I was in this existing world that I know of that I'm here. But I'm usually like a director of something, a president of something. I'm a boss of something, in those other worlds. And this keeps happening to me night after night after night. I'm not It's interesting because even the people that were my friends in this waking life here, they appear in my dreams as performing other functions. I don't know how to explain it. It's very difficult in that dream. And so it's just like living a regular life, like you're grabbing your lunch pail, you're going to work. Hey, Joe, how's it going today? We got to deal with this problem this morning, Mr. Dan, and then we get to work solving this problem. And it's very interesting, but I wonder what's behind it. I wonder if it's anxiety or if it's, from actually slipping into an alternative world. Have you guys ever thought of that sometimes you might slip in and into a different world where you exist, and you're living a totally different life? I do believe in that multi-world theory. I do believe that there are many, many different worlds, and we parallel each other. Is that what they call it? Parallel universe theory? What's the theory? Come on, is somebody in here a Harvard graduate? Knows about physics? They could explain this theory. In any event, it maths out. The math works, and so why wouldn't it be possible that every night I'm slipping into a different world, and it's showing me another life that I'm living? I'm perfectly happy in this world, by the way. And so I don't feel like I'm escaping to some place. And so that's the reason why I don't think it has much to do with me having anxiety. I've got to tell you that when I retired, I noticed that a lot of my friends who were retiring at the same time, they suffered a lot. They suffered from anxiety because this is a whole new game. When you retire from working, you get different emotional feelings that you go through. You cycle through these emotional feelings. I think everybody is the same. It's how you deal with it's how you approach and deal with those feelings that's the key. You know, I never looked at retirement as being anything but a very, very positive experience, a new exciting adventure, a transition, right? But I have friends that the transition was terrible for them. You know, they start talking about, oh, well, now my life is over and this is the end for me. And now I just get to sit at home in front of the TV set and click away until I don't wake up one day. I mean, that's a strange, in my opinion, it's a strange way of looking at things. What do you think? What's your idea about that? Just curious. What's your Smash is here? Ramir is in the house. Hi, Ramir. How's it going? Nice to see you. Great supporter of the channel, him and his wife and himself, I should say. Yeah, so I mean, it's very, very interesting the way that works. Yeah, and so I've thought a lot about this. You know, for example, right now, what's going on in the United States is they have an employment shortage right now, right? They don't have enough people. It's basically because we're retiring. We have a huge cohort group, the post-war baby boomers, that you know, it's kind of like a reference to the war that was fought. And so when the men came back from the war, they started having kids, right? They came back. That there was that conflict, and there was Korean conflict. Well, there was that war, I should say, properly, and then later on we had the Korean conflict, and then once a lot of people actually served in both the war, World War II, and the Korean conflict, especially if they were career military. But when everybody came back home, they started having families, and the largest cohort year was 1957, the year that I was born. So all those 72 million people that were born within that 10-year time frame, you know, in and around 1957, they're all retiring. Oh, I see we hit the 30 number in the chat. And so we're all retiring at the same time, and that's like a big, if you come to the States, right, it's like a big sucking sound that you hear, you know, like a vacuum cleaner in reverse, just sucking. Just sucking the life out of the economy, because all of us are retiring. We're the ones that spend the money. They're not our children, not like in past generations. And when our money's gone because we're retiring, listen, most of us we're just living paycheck to paycheck. You know, it's the same as any Filipino. It's very expensive to live in the States, and inflation is eating up every dollar. And imagine that you're retired and now you have to figure out how to live the same lifestyle on probably the average is half of what you were making. You know, and so that's a very difficult thing to do. So you can't exactly, you know, it's a fallacy when they say that you retire and you get to go travel all around the world. That doesn't happen to most Americans. They're retiring and they are sitting in front of the TV set and staying put at home. Hopefully their house is owned. Most of the time it is. I think it's something like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's something like 60% of the cases, the people that retire, they own their home. They've already paid off their mortgage. So that's a good thing because your income is cut in half. And I actually think that the solution is for folks to go back to work. Don't retire, you know. And I was looking up those numbers the other day because it interests me, and I found out that 17% actually have not retired, and or a larger number are considering going back to work in 2024. And the number one reason they cited was not the economy, it was actually boredom. They're bored of sitting at home in front of the TV set. And so I thought that Okay, I think we're back again. I do believe we are back again. All right. So anyway, let me know if you guys hear an echo because I had multiple windows open at the same time. All right. So the idea is that of course, um, I'm not saying it's difficult. It can be difficult for some people when they decide to retire, but then I am wondering why it is necessary, why retirement is even in our vocabulary. Because in the Philippines, unless you're a government worker or a police officer or something, it does retirement doesn't exist in the traditional way that it does in other countries, in other Western countries. And so it's not one of those things that you grow up as a little kid thinking about, but it is one of the things that we end up thinking about when we're really little. It is drilled into our head that we will work. My dad used to say it. He used to say, do your 20, do your 20, do your 20. What he was saying was, get out there and do your 20 years and earn your pension. But really, in reality, it's a 40-year work history that you have. It's usually 40 years before you can retire with a decent social security check. And so a lot of people, Mike married, a lot of people like Mike, where you were a government worker, right? In Canada, I was a government worker in the States. And so in order to attract, it was a very, very low paying job in the beginning. And so in order to attract people into the job, they had to offer benefits. And one of those benefits was defined retirement plan. Defined retirement plan means that, hey, you come work for us, we contribute towards your retirement, you contribute a little something, something. And when you reach a certain age or so many years of service and a combination of age, you get to go on your merry way and you never have to worry about money for until the day you die. That's how it works in the States. But unless you're a government worker or a police officer, military, or something like that here in the Philippines, you don't grow up thinking about, oh, one day I'm going to retire, after I put in my 40 years. And then I will end up going on my merry way. It isn't something that you grow up thinking about. The emphasis in the Philippines, if I'm not mistaken, is education, education, because you're taught that education will set you free. And most of the time it will. It will in this environment. However, a bachelor's degree or 4 years of education in the States in my generation, not in the current one, right? Not in Generation Z, and maybe a little bit crossover into the millennials. But truth be told, uh, we have a lot of service oriented jobs open in the United States that don't require a bachelor's degree, and so it's not a requirement in order to get a job. And even in high tech industry, they tend to look at your capabilities or your abilities uh, in front or ahead of what your educational background is. So going to an Ivy League school is very, very helpful in certain cases, but not so much in others. And that's why you have a lot of educational advocates say, save your money for the master's degree in grad school, because if you're going to be a professional and professionally educated, you need to have, in most cases, a graduate degree. So when I went back, I returned back to school, right? Late in life, I was a late in life baby. Educationally, I was. But when Pacquiao Mertz is here, Shane is here. Welcome, welcome. Mildred's in the house. The famous Crystal Mother of 12 is here. Yes, indeed, she is. So anyway, when I decide, Des is here. Hi, Des. How's it going? So when I decided to go back to school, I knew that I had to go straight through. I had to go do the 6 years, the 4 and the 2. 4 years of undergrad and then 2 years of graduate school. It was the only way to do it. because I needed that. I needed to level the playing field, and I was a little bit older, so the only way to do it was through education. And that's pretty similar to what's going on here in the Philippines. That you need that because jobs are so competitive and so scarce. You need that 4-year degree in order to level the playing field. But things I think are going to happen really quickly here in the Philippines. I mean, you need a 4-year degree here in order to get a service oriented job. But here's what I see. Here's one of my predictions that have nothing to do with my dream, by the way. It has to do with looking at demographic trends, which is what I enjoy doing most of the time. I read a lot of articles. I look at demographic trends. MC, Annie MC, hello, how are you? You're here. And it's telling me that the United States will have no choice pretty soon but to open things up a little bit and allow visas for workers, not professionals. Right now, it's easy to get a visa right now if you're a nurse, a doctor, and certain professions, right? Anybody in the health field, it's kind of become very, very easy to get a visa to go to the United States and work. I had a friend of mine do it from Bohol and did it very, very quickly. And so once they got their training behind them and they passed all their exams and they were good to go, boom, in New York City, upstate, working as a nurse. And he knows, a male nurse, by the way, and he knows he'll have to give about 2 years experience before the doors are open for him to move, um, to move around the country. And I think the plans probably are for him to move to Sacramento, California, and probably work for Kaiser, something like that. And so I'm a fan of. It turns me on the whole idea that I have the opportunity to go back to the States if need be, and go back to work. I would do it. If necessity called for it, then I'm a man of action. I don't generally hang around and wait for something to happen. I make it happen. And I've always been that way. And so I would make the decision very, very quickly. Oh, let's go back to the States. Dan and Mammy need to go back to work for whatever reason. That ain't going to happen, folks. Unless it could happen, though. Here's the thing, it could happen because the defined benefit retirement, if it runs out of money, that would be a problem. If Social Security ran out of money, that would be a problem. So living on 2 government pensions the way that Mamini and I do is not an ideal plan. It is not. Saving money in a safe investment environment, which is not too safe right now, would have been the ideal thing. Buying gold and burying it in the backyard is probably a better plan than the one that we got going on here. And so the idea is that we have to create income. And so in order to create income while living here in the Philippines, you have to be very careful. You have to carefully evaluate all your options, right? And so I want to talk about one that is an interesting option, right? One has to do with building a rooming house or a cooperative. You know how I'm always talking about housing being the great equalizer? So if you were to build a cooperative living environment where young people can come into the city and they could live and not get killed on rent, you're feeling a need for young people to be able to seek their independence and earn money away from home. Most people will have to leave the province at some time or another in order to move to the city in order to make money. You're very, very fortunate if you have a trade and you're able to make money in the province. I admire you. So my thinking is, well, that all this growth is taking place. For example, I'll tell you this: all those people that are living around the new military bases that are being built right now, they're in the catbird seat. They're in the catbird seat because there are tremendous amounts of opportunity, as Tim Desiak had pointed out in one of the live streams. in order to make those bases go the way they need to, they need about 5,000 support personnel. The majority of those, of course, are going to be locals from the surrounding area. So you go way up north in Luzon, and good luck trying to find 5,000 people in order to supply your base with personnel. That's one of the dilemmas. So a lot of people will be moving up there from areas, from provinces known and unknown, and from the big cities of Cebu and Manila in order to seek out those employment opportunities. So it's kind of exciting. So Tim is saying I will eventually live on 3 government checks. Yes. So government, when you're military, Tim, it works a little bit differently. As long as the U.S. government is viable, you will continue to get those checks. But the way that the law is written for Social Security and for my retirement, if the fund only has 80% of its 100%, then they're allowed to decrease they're allowed to decrease my payout to match what's available in the fund. So in other words, if the total fund return on investment, if it declines and they're only able to pay out 80% of my pension, then 80% is all that I'll get. It works the same for Social Security. However, it does not work the same for Social Security disability or military disability. In those cases, the exception to the rule is you can never reduce the amount of money based on that same mathematical formula. That 80% equals 80% pension. No, it doesn't work that way. Now, where disability is concerned, 80% equals 100%. In other words, they never will take money away from you if you're getting a military pension. In fact, I don't know if Tim is or not. I'm just pointing out that they will never take it away from you. As long as we have a viable government, they have to pay it out. The taxpayers are responsible for paying the money. And so a lot of my friends, as one in particular, and that is that all I want for Christmas is Dez's little girl to be well. Okay, so that's your entry. By the way, so Mike is reminding me, we do have a contest going on, and that is that you have to fill in the blank. All I want for Christmas is, and then give me a short sentence. Don't give me an essay. I won't read it. I keep telling people, don't send me an essay, with 4 or 5 different things on there that goes on a mile long, because I won't read it. I'll only read the first 4 or 5 words, and that's how I'll base my decision on whether you win or not. 3 winners will be chosen. The cutoff date is December 19th at 10 p.m. Let me be clear about that. It's December 19th at 10 p.m. Any entries that come in after that won't be considered. So don't wait to the last minute. I noticed last time people were killing me waiting to the last minute to put their entry in for Stuffing the Pig, and it became overwhelming to me. And so you need to help me out a little bit by getting those guesses in. I'm not guesses, getting the sentence in so I could record it. I've got some beautiful ones. If you don't put in, listen, if you don't put in, I already have winners in my head based on the ones that have already submitted, of course. They were very, very good, very creative. So finding 5,000 qualified professionals will be very difficult. Yeah. And so they'll be coming from all over the Philippines to northern Luzon to work on those bases. But so the economy, I guess what I'm saying is things are going to change here. The economic outlook for the Philippines is very, very bright. And it's a combination, of overseas employment and remittance, and also employment opportunities that will develop here in the Philippines, a lot due to those bases going up. But actually, the Philippines is going to start industrializing a little bit because you have a young, educated workforce and they're consumer driven. You have a huge emerging middle class. It's just like in the States in the 1950s and the 1960s when they came back from the Korean War, where they started building tract homes everywhere. People started buying them. They went for 10 and 20,000 US American dollars. And if you had a home that you paid 20,000 for in the nice part of town, it's probably worth 800 to $1 million today. If you bought one like my parents did for $10,000 in the poorer side of town, uh, it's probably worth $600,000 to $800,000 today. My mom has no plans of selling the house, by the way. She told me that her dream is to live and die in that home. And so she will realize that dream. I'm happy for my mom. They try to reduce VA disability ratings all the time. The ratings they do, that's how they control the amount of money that's flowing out. I'm talking about once all that's decided, it's not connected to how much money is in the fund because they have to go to Congress. Congress has to allocate that amount of money. So that's how that works. But the exciting thing is, I'm trying to make a point here, and then I've been interrupted by two brownouts and people coming in yelling at me through the door. listen, you guys don't know. I'm doing 10 different things while I'm sitting here. So here's the whole thing. Here's the whole point I wanted to make. I made it a couple of times. I want to give you hope for the future is what I'm trying to do here. If you're in the Philippines, listen, it's not hope in the Americas. The hope in the Americas would be in this form that you can work until the day you die, should you choose, should you decide to do that. And I most certainly can go back to work, most likely in the same job, the very same job that I occupied before. I could just boom, plug myself right back in. Will I do it? No, but I'm just saying I'm thankful for the opportunity to be able to do that if I wanted to or if I needed to. So let's say the government did cut my pension in half, right? I would have to go back to work. But here's the beautiful thing. I would have the opportunity is I could select just about any job that I want. Ann is here. I missed you, Ann. And Dowman is here. Dowman, I think. I'm not sure. So, Ann, Michael's Thoughts is here. Michael, thank you for coming. There's Mildred. So, here's the thing. Here's the bottom line. There are more opportunities here in the Philippines than I have seen in 20 years or 25 years of coming here. And my prediction for you is that the United States is going to be opening the door for overseas workers, and first on the list to come over here would have to be the Philippines. And no, so you won't have to be a professional, right? You won't have to have a nursing degree. You won't have to, you won't have to jump through a whole bunch of hoops. They will, if you have a letter that says, "Hey, we have a job for you at McDonald's, work in the grill. Are you interested in it?" If you have an offer of employment, most likely in your hand, they will issue a visa for you, and that's going to happen. I'm almost sure in the next 3 to 5 years, maybe even sooner. So I want to say sooner. I'm tempted to say sooner. Because I actually believe it will happen sooner. But I want to be safe in my predictions because as most of you know, I'm right 99.9% of the time, and so 3 to 5 years gives me a nice safety cushion. Folks, beware of the military-industrial complex. It brings up another thing, and that is that if you took the profit out of war, then there would be no more war. So keep in mind that war is profitable, right? Ending one, not so much. Keeping one going forever would be the ideal thing. I know, I realize that I'm very cynical. Oh, so Mike is saying his VA goes up twice a year. That is fantastic. You are one lucky dude. You are one lucky guy. So anyway, what am I saying? Keep your ear to the ground on stuff like that. It's your friends and your family that will know, that will hear about these changes first, and then they're going to share them with you. hey, do you know that the United States is now issuing visas for you to work at McDonald's? And you go, Yahoo! I love their hamburgers, and away you'll go. So here's the other thing. I want to talk about a couple more things, and then we're gonna call for Mam Mini, and we're gonna draw for a Peso 300 winner. By the way, thanks for hanging in there with me through 2 or 3 brownouts. It's happened a couple of times, even before we went on the air. We had a couple of brownouts. I wasn't thinking about it. I was just thinking, the odds of it happening during a live stream, very, very remote. Well, didn't work out so well. By the way, if they cut us off anytime before the live stream is over, I most likely will not be returning this time. But it's nice that I figured out how to restart the machine, huh? It's nice that I was able to figure out how to come back and just pick up right where we left off. So it had never happened before. So now I know how that works. Mawelma is here. Mawelma, how's everything going on the cooking channel? Did you notice I put up another popcorn video? Should get 1K, should get 1K. By the way, I did have a person email me personally and say, you know what, Dan, being in the know, I got to tell you that in your assessment of YouTube, you're correct. I did have someone send me a message that said, I don't know how you figured that out. I don't know how you figured out that the money was going away on YouTube, and I think it's a natural. See, and they said you have to concentrate on getting the money from your subscribers as members. That's going to be the huge thing. Get people to buy to subscribe, and then you get them to become members, so you get that steady income every month. That's the way to do it. So if you only have 4 or 5 members in your YouTube channel, and you've monetized, and you could add more. You got to encourage people to pay that. I'll tell you the best idea. I'm going to give you. Listen, I want to share all my great ideas with you in one sitting, but I think that you've heard enough from me for today. I'm kind of getting the sense of it. So let me leave you with this before I go shout out for Mam Mini to come over here to help us draw. Okay, and that is that if you went from $1.99 to 99 cents, you would probably quadruple your membership. So I know the 1.99 cents is tempting, at the first level. I know it is. But I just have this feeling, it's a gut feeling, that if you lowered it to 99 cents, right, then you're going to see all kinds of magic happen, because then it's like shopping at the 99-cent store or the dollar store in the States. If you notice here in the Philippines, there are a lot of new retail shops where they're calling themselves the what is it? They're copying that marketing schematic. Let's just say that, right? Nothing in our store, is over whatever it is, 50 pesos, something like that, right? And you go in there and the shelves are stocked with all this Chinese stuff that nobody needs. But you buy it because you're intrigued by the fact that there's nothing in the store that is over 50 pesos. And so what you do, oh, hey, look who's here. How are you? Bayarong de Barbero, how are you today? Marian Salongo is here. Thanks. And Larry Lee has not left screaming from the room yet, which is a good thing. All right, so now what I'm saying is it's marketing. And so if you believe in what I'm talking about, right? And that is that the whole monetization schematic for YouTube is about to change. Not change, but it's happening through a natural events, not YouTube just saying, hey, I don't want to pay money out. They realize that their whole branding of their product is because of the creators making videos on YouTube. And so they're not going to do away with that, but it's occurring because of this. So there's a consolidation effort going on. Companies are consolidating. Airlines are consolidating. Banks are consolidating or going out of business. And when they do, that reduces the advertising revenue. Because Bank of America, for example, or BPI or something, if they're merging with another bank, for example, you had a merger of Citibank and Union Bank recently here in the Philippines. It's the best example. Both were advertising like crazy. Both of them. Both of them were advertising like crazy all over the place. And then all of a sudden you had the merger and the advertising revenue, it got cut in half. They did not expand it once they merged. They didn't keep it the same. One of the benefits of the merger is that you reduce your expenses because you get to share personnel, advertising revenue, all this other stuff. You get to close locations where you had duplicate services, and it makes sense to do all that stuff so that the machine remains well oiled and you can continue to increase profits and shareholder value, and you decrease advertising and hiring. The number of personnel that you need in order to run your operation is reduced. Now, who just announced that they were laying off 20% of their workforce in the United States? Wasn't it Spotify? Well, that's going to have global implications because, of course, they have support staff working here. They have IT personnel working here. There's a reduction going on, which means that there's a consolidation effort, and that directly impacts advertiser revenue on YouTube. Folks, come on, it's not so hard, in my opinion. It's not so difficult to understand how this works. Tim is saying always plan for the future. Save your money. That's right. Don't go out and spend. Listen, I respect the fact that most Filipinos are living paycheck to paycheck, peso to peso. Take one, just one, because most of you're working for daily pay. So when you get that 150 or 200 pesos, take one of them and put them in the piggy. That's all I'm saying here. So Tim is absolutely right. That's good advice. Take 1 peso and set it aside. All right, set it aside for the unknown. Set it aside for your family's future, the education of your children, those types of things. So that's why I can, if you will, it's not much of a prediction. I can predict that advertising revenue is going to continue to decline as big corporate mergers continue to take place. And to finish my thought on, since we are coming up on December 7th, to finish my thought on the war machine and the military-industrial complex, they will never allow the United States to pass any kind of legislation, nor will it ever be presented. Legislation will never be presented by Congress that restricts the profitability of munitions. In other words, they're going to say, hey, we're going to listen, do your patriotic duty. Hey, if you claim that you're a patriot, if you're claiming to be a patriot and you served to protect the United States borders and freedom of speech and all that other stuff, then tell me why should not private companies that make munitions for those conflicts and wars do the same thing? I'm going to do my patriotic duty by joining the military, and they should be doing their patriotic duty by not exploiting us by making huge profits on the military things that they produce. Does that not make sense to you? So, but where have I ever heard anybody say that, oh, so and so over there, those rat bastards are squeezing every dime out of the military budget, out of the Department of Defense, because they know they can. And the fat cats are being picked up and driven to work and driven home every day in their limousines. I mean, come on. What kind of sense does that make? Are you any more or less patriotic than the person fighting on the front lines? I mean, really? How come nobody is screaming and yelling from the rooftops about that? By the way, I failed to mention, even though I have acknowledged it to my friends here, it's not lost on me that Mindanao is suffering. They've suffered a couple losses from the huge earthquakes that we had. They were terrifying to me. I'm giving you my own personal take. They were terrifying to me. If they weren't to you, well, good on you. But it killed something like 7 people, and one of those people was from Tagum City, was a young woman with child. She was pregnant, and that child that will not unfortunately be able to live their life the way that they should have, because they were killed by a collapsing wall. And so I know this isn't sensational news for some reason, but it is overshadowed slightly by the news of uh, the event that occurred at Mindanao State University. And so my sympathies to all who were impacted by both incidents, but one of them is getting more press than the other right now. And so my advice for most of you would be, don't hang out in the tourist areas. Stay home in your easy chair with a clicker if you can. Stay away from tourist areas if you live in that part of the Philippines. Anna's here. Crystals will be hearing from me later this morning. Let's see if Mammy is ready to draw. We have 39 million people in the house, give or take. Mammy, are you here? Mammy. Mammy. They're waiting for you. Let me get it ready for you. Oh, she's here. Okay, she answered. All right, Mammy. These people, they don't want to hear me anymore. They want to draw for money. That's why they're here. That's why I know why you're here. I know why you watch our channel. What? It's snowing there for 58 hours. What is that? Global cooling? Are we entering into another ice age? Are the poles starting to shift? What calamity is going to be bestowed upon this earth in the next few years? We shall see. It's a great time to be alive. It's a great time to be alive. I would pick no other time in history to be alive than right now. All right. Well, you guys are practically in the same region, right, Larry?
Good morning.
No, I guess not.
Everyone.
I guess Mike is more towards the Midwest, and you're the East Coast. All right, here's Man Mini. Man Mini is here.
How are you guys?
The people want a winner, Man Mini. Pull us out a winner.
Chicken dinner. Lucky. First, pull out.
Oh, ooh. I don't know if we've ever pulled this number before. Let me see who it is. Do 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 do. Do. Yeah, we have. I'm not sure she's here though, and that's a shame because she has been commenting a lot in the channel. It's number 71. Mabel Torres. If you know Mabel, you better get it here so she can get 300 pesos. Number 71, Mabel Torres. Must be present to win. First call out. Number 71, Mabel Torres. Must be present to win. If you have Mabel's, if you have her number, if you have her if you can contact her, let her know that her name came up. Number 71, Mabel Torres. Third call out. Must be present to win. Let me see. Is she present? Is she present? Sometimes she shows up. Let me check it out. You guys will let me know, right? Fourth call out. 41 million people in the house. For Mabel Torres. Must be present to win. What call it? Was that number 4?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. LV is here. LV, LV, LV. You're number 1, not number 2. Don't ever change. Hey, you know what? I was just thinking. Every time I think of LV, I think about having a contest, right? Where I go out and I get a banana, right? And we put the banana up, and I measure it. How many centimeters is the banana? And then you guys guess, and we could have a contest. How big is that banana? I know it's a little bit. Yeah, it's a yeah. But anyway,
Your banana
you
is
guys,
short, honey.
yeah, exactly. You guys let me
Shirt
know.
size and then the
You let me
shirt.
know if you like that idea or not. All
Another
right.
banana.
Oh, we haven't called out. We haven't done the final call out from Mabel Torres. Final call out from Mabel Torres. Must be present to win. Oh my goodness gracious. Sometimes I just come up with the craziest ideas, but you know what? I like that one. All right. Mabel is in here. Nah. Well, we know you love the bananas. All right. Oh, do you feel something aftershock?
No, there's nothing.
There's nothing. She always says there's nothing. And then I go to the earthquake map, and then I see the earthquake on there. I said, well, it's right here. The earthquake is right here. All right, we pulled. The next one. Oh, no. Tell me it ain't so. All right. This rarely happens. Let's see. Let's see if she remained in the chat. Number 56, Laurice Juice. First call out for number 56, Laurice Juice. Must be present to win. Yeah. Lou was the other one the other day. Yeah, there she is. We weren't going to get you a second time. We have a winner chicken dinner. It is Laurice today. Congratulations. I'm going to send that right out to you, Laurice. She gets it on the rebound. The story of your life, right, Laurice? No, I'm just kidding. Hey, listen, I could be so stupid.
How are you?
I could be so stupid sometimes. Oh my gosh. I crack myself up. Folks, you have a great day. And remember the great warriors that gave their lives on December 7th, 1941, Pearl Harbor. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you. Larry, if you're still there,
hi, Sir Larry.
Get us out of here if you will. I'll go ahead and read. I could go ahead and read it today because I can read the shout out from Larry. Who else is here, by the way? Calderon, J. Tom Calderon. Hey, that rhymes. J. Rom Calderon. I like it. Take care, everyone, from Tim. And always remember to be kind to each other. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe and healthy. Plus, always try to have fun. Bye-bye. We'll see you in the next one. We're out in 5, 4.